I'm not an overly emotional guy. I'm just your regular, blokey, tough fella. Well, that is if you don't consider all the crying. But crying is healthy, and I don't do it that often. You know, like once or 3 times a week. But I don't do it in public. I mean, sometimes I do it in a public bathroom or on an aeroplane. But it's always indoors or in the sky, so that's not such a problem. There were a couple of occasions in a local park, and a few times while standing in line to get into a nightclub. But I don't do big baby sobs and shrieks, you know, I'm a man. Honestly, I'm a man who sobbed in the middle of a restaurant while trying to order dessert. But I always say, if you're gonna have a sob, do it over something important, like what people think about you and past memories of a family occasion or something like that. You know, tough guy things, blokey stuff. Like looking inwards and finding the things about myself that I don't like, then pouring out a little bit of eye water before repressing it all and bringing it out again next week. Other than all that self-controlled machismo, somehow, Suduaya still manages to give me a case of the feels. It doesn't take much deep soul digging to feel something in your emotional clavicles. And in my defense, what are you gonna do when Louis David Rockefeller comes along with some dreamy sweet sounds? Suduaya is a hell of a project, but really, I gotta say, this release blows gentle holes in the stratosphere of love and feelings. Everything feels like a straight up jam band of ethereal ellipses that only a Capricorn or Pisces can truly understand. Lucky for us, I'm a Capricorn that's sage as fuck, and I'm ready to review an album. And it's a dedicated intro track. Good call. Great fucking call. It's a primer of gentle softness that gives us a little hint at what vibe we have coming our way. A hint at what's to come. Anticipatory hints. Reason 7 of 18, we like intros. The sun in your heart starts out as dramatic as a 15-year-old with an unfair curfew. Then bobs its way into Chilltown to give us a hit of the moods. There's a mad nice break of amethyst clouds with vacillations of lilac lines darting around them, and then boom! We find ourselves in the funk zone. And I love the funk zone. I'm all about it. It's this zone with all of this funk. Maybe I'm not explaining it very well. You get all of the funk and you put it in a zone. Are we on the same page? Starseeds hits it in those heart pump arteries. It hurts a little, but sometimes good things hurt. A little. You don't have to spend years meditating to open yourself up to this track. You just have to push play. And maybe meditate for a couple of years. But not too long. 3-4 hours a day should do. Then do a little 1-2 step as you bounce into the exotic electronic land of faraway places. Cruisin cruises, and then cruises some more, when a big hit of sexy strong plucking comes in to jazz the track into a theatre room explosion of silky movement. The strings really bump it up a bit, and wait, what's that? Is that Yuthi on the trumpet? You son of a bitch it is. Yeah, whatever. Feelings can betray us and all that, but isn't it nice to just let it all out once in a while? Isn't it a treat to scream like a 2-year-old child that's been awake for 7 minutes too long?
This is so relaxing!
Actually, this is super chill. Cha, dude. I'm chill as fuck right now. And despite my penchant for finding the negatives in the world around me, this track ain't one of them. 555 is 111 digits for my favourite 3 identical numbers that start with 6. It's the less talked about of the 3-digited identical numbers, and we can all be forgiven for not knowing that it's the angel's number. If, like this article suggests, you find this number in random places, then you probably shouldn't be. Go to sleep. It's not my favourite track on the album. I've tried to figure out why, but I can't be bothered. Literally, all you do is review albums. Figure it out. Jesus, fuck, okay. It feels like an extension of Starseeds without the supple, moisturised hands holding me the way that Starseeds did. You are here now. Well, not you. You are there, not here. I am here now. But also by the time you see this, I'm not here. I'm somewhere else. So no one is here now. Yet somehow it kind of feels like we're all somewhere. Profound. The strings that scatter the layers of this track and also the other songs on this album add this new vibe to every song. No bad vibe, only good vibe. I like it very, very much. And I think I'll explain why using some very advanced words that I learned from a psychologist. It is good because it makes me feel happy. Somewhere around here. And happy is good. Compassion is a vibration, sure does vibrate me. Compassionately. A wide low beat bumps away as strings and vocals drift around each other in a dance of vibratory AAA lithium-ion battery love. Speaking of love, It's hard to love, isn't it? Well, loving is easy. It's hard to let yourself love. Especially when you've had your heart broken into pieces. It's not the ache that hurts, but the ease at which those striking reverberations of pain shoot into your psyche and out of your chest, causing you to experience an emotional reaction you never knew was possible, and forcing you to close that vulnerable part of yourself off as a defense mechanism to never let a pain like that happen again. The really hard part is opening yourself up again. But that's not what we call unconditional love. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. But Suduaya is here to help, unconditionally, with some gorgeous sound magic. Again, because it's part 2. Damn it! I would have hoped that I figured it all out in part 1. The track is a favourite, but I'm still a little worried. Is there going to be a part 3? Or have we unconditionally figured out love? Thank fuck that Turba is here to bounce me out of that introspection and into some gyrations. Suduaya has always been great, but god damn it, these compositions are extra special on this release. Turba hits about 6 different emotional clavicles at once, and mixes some repressed feelings around in a confusing fashion. The feelings, not the song. The song is a groovy as fuck. Late night, under the stars, slow stomper, covered in beautiful violets under the delicately plucked strings of tangerine. This is what it's all about. Nothing but good feels here, and Carwin isn't about to fuck that up with some aggressive, upsetting thoughts. It's here to keep us uplifted using angelic clouds of heavenly chorales. It starts somewhere on ground level and ends in the calm, soothing stratosphere above. The vocals at the end are a nice way to round the track off and show that this guy ain't running out of any ideas anytime soon. And even though we aren't explicitly talking about fucking with the vibe, maybe we should be. Did someone say we're fucking with the vibe? I'll tell you. And that's enough of that, because there ain't no fucking with this vibe in the Calligrapher. Handbeaten drums, distant distortions of vocals, electronic zerps, and a whole lot of goodness. If I ever need to set a magical mood for a bunch of people at the end of a night out, I know just what to play for those uppity sons of bitches. Now obviously it's not going to be easy to close out an album like this, after a couple of tracks like that. But Flying Carpet performs just fine. Leave your steam cleaner at home, because this carpet is clean enough to roll around on and wrap yourself in, as you cry and pee a little at the unassurity of the world that you found yourself in and can do next to nothing about. Well, that's a good note to leave this album on. Despite the enjoyment that Suduaya gives me, I still haven't heard enough of his works to be able to make a comment like this fairly. But let's be unconditional about this. Suduaya is fantastic at the 4x4 down-tempo thing, but when he goes off the rails and breaks up the beat a little bit with a sprinkle of funk, oh my god, that's the good stuff. That's the good, nice funk stuff. That good, funk, nice, give me a hit of that shit stuff. You know what it is. So does Louis. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're thinking to yourself, I feel like relaxing a bit, but I don't know how to relax. I'm a bit too uppity. Well, this album might be a good place to start. The release is gorgeous, exquisite, well dressed, and full of things that makes me feel a little